This sales coffee is not going to happen if they're going to have the same connection they've been having. Are you in the office, Edgar? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is messing up. I'm not sure if they're gonna be using hotspot.
Are you on your hotspot?
Yeah,
Okay, that's why. Yeah, last night it went out. We couldn't even have a call room last night. It was bad.
yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Good? Yes? No? We- Is this it? Is this all right, let's try and let them in. The internet's been a little bit shaky today, huh? All right, everything looks good, right? You look good. Feel good? Play good, right? There you go. All right, everyone's coming in now. So the internet's a little flaky today, guys. If we end up cutting off, I'll be back on. Just give it a second or so, but you know how it is. All right, awesome. So it looks like everyone's in here. The computer's pretty full, so if anyone does come in, just let me know and I'll admit them.
Can you even see the mouse from there?
See that? Yeah. It's just the words, you know.
I have trouble reading sometimes.
All right. It looks like we're good, right? Okay. Hey, Brian, can you close that, please? Thank you. All right, guys, we got an hour today. I'm not going to try to use up your whole hour, but if I do, you'll get a lot from it, hopefully, right? So let's have some fun today. And if you guys got anything you want to go over too, please let me know, because I'd rather answer your questions than go over a bunch of stuff that I planned out. So just getting started. This is really for people in like their first 90 days. People who are just getting started in the business, and my journey has been about 8 years now, so it's been a long one so far, and it goes by so quick, right? So the first couple things, just getting started, I would write down, if you're new in this business, to find a mentor. And finding a mentor, it don't even gotta be a millionaire. You don't got to go find a millionaire today. It could be your manager for right now if you're brand new in the business. It could be your grandpap, but find somebody that you can talk to and have goals with, right? And then they can hold you accountable. Because if you have a mentor and you have to report to them like once a week or every day, at least once a day, like your manager, you should be calling them every day. Then they'll be able to help keep you on track and get you going. So it's really important to find a mentor, someone that can hold you accountable. And maybe it's somebody that has a position you want. Maybe it's the guy with the Lamborghini who pulls up to the gas station with you every week. But set some goals. So the next thing is going to be set your goals. Like this year just came through, right? And it's a new year. Everyone, new year, new goals, right? New year, new me, whatever they say, right? Well, basically, what is your current list of goals right now? Like, did you guys really sit down and write your goals out for the year? Did everyone do that? No, and look, we're already 20 days in the January, right? So if you haven't, the good news is you can start now. You don't got to wait till next year. You can just do it today, right? Write your goals down that you want to happen. So like, where do you want to be at by the end of today? Where you want to be at by the end of next week, by the end of next month, by the end of the year, each quarter broken down. Like if your goal is to get promoted by the next quarter, well, now you have to aim for, right? Don't just sit there and go through the motions every day, because then dragging ass, right? But Jim Rohn said this, life best lived is not by accident. You guys know who Jim Rohn is. We post those motivational videos in the group meetings in the mornings. He sometimes talks on them, right? So it's not just walking through life like day to day, dragging through the hallways, right? It's by having objectives and purpose to get through it. And that's why we're here. Because no one's gonna believe in you guys unless you believe in yourself first. That's for sure, right? We gotta believe that we can do it. You guys all came here. You've seen the opportunity. I'm pretty sure we hired most of you to become MGAs. So you had to think like, I can do this, right? At some point, you were like, all right, so let's use your imagination. Little kid, you might have had a goal to be an astronaut, right? You to be a doctor, be Michael Jordan when you're playing basketball with your friends, shooting the shot on Kobe, right? But here's the thing: what happened to all those you had?
You need a hotspot, Josh. We can't hear you at all.
Now it's stuck on your face, Matt.
Yeah, I believe it.
Welcome to the internet age.
Everybody have the Wi-Fi?
So
Josh.
Can you guys hear me? Am I back? Am I back in action? All right. I don't know if it's working or not, but sorry, guys.
We're working now.
We're increasing. All right. Where was I? Use your imagination. So just think about like when you were little, like we all had these big imaginations of what we wanted to become. And then guess what happens? You lose them. You lose them when you start getting older. You start forgetting about them, right? So don't keep thinking like a little kid. Keep being young-minded, right? Now, basically, when you have an imagination, that's what's going to help you develop your career. Like if you're imagining like I'm going to become an MGA, I want to become an RGA, That's going to help you envision on what you're going to be when you become an MGA and RGA, right? So that's where basically all the tangible values and intangible values really will begin in your imagination, right? Now, when you have an imagination, which we all have, that's the great part about it, is it's such a powerful resource that we just need to learn how to use it, right? So we're all born with it. That's the cool part. It kind of makes us all equal at some point, because I don't think every animal out there has an imagination, right? I don't know. We'd have to look into that, but we do, right? So basically, you have to get it going, and it's up to you, right? Now, how are you going to get your imagination going on what you want? A lot of people say listen to seminars, because that's like you can hear other people's walks of life, what they've been through, what they're going through. People go pay thousands of dollars to sit through a 2 or 3 day seminar, right? Just to hear someone's story. It gets them thinking about how they can go out and do that, right? So that's a way. Another way is now it's 2021, and to be honest with you, everything's right here at your fingertips. So YouTube, audiobooks, camera flash, whatever it may be. It's all right there in your fingertips. Okay, so basically for us, where was I on here? You know, we used to have Automobile University. You guys know what Automobile University is? It's when you're in your car all day and your hands are busy and your mind ain't, right? So we used to be driving an hour to 2 hours out to people's houses. And during that time, we didn't just listen to music. We didn't just listen to junk music on the radio as we're driving out to our appointments, maybe 5-10 minutes before you get to the house. But on the way out, you wanted to get your mind right. So we'd put on an audiobook. You might put on an old workshop, right? You might call your team and talk about a review preview, talk about your day, call your manager. So you guys need to plan things out more detailed now, because we used to have designated times. Like I knew every day from like 12 to 1, I was driving out to the field to my area for the day. Now we just click a button and we hop on Zoom, right? So schedule it in your planner on when you're going to learn each day. It used to automatically be like, I didn't even have to schedule it. I just knew when I was driving in between appointments and it was 45 minutes, I'd put something on and listen to it, right? We can't really do that now. We're sitting there clicking buttons from our computer all day. So, for us, learn about other values that will improve your life. Like, think about, like I told you guys, next week, next month, next quarter. Someone's in the waiting room. I can't let them in. There you go, if you can. And it's just going to show you guys what's possible. That's all. Just write it down, because if you don't even write it down, it's never going to be possible for you guys. So that's just getting started here. And what if your goal was to become a millionaire? Like, what if that was one of your goals? Like, all right, one of my goals is to become a millionaire, right? Say that's your goal. Well, it's not like, what if your goal was to become a millionaire? It's like, if that was your goal, it's what would you make of like it to achieve it? Like, what would you become when you achieve becoming a millionaire? You're going to have to go through a lot of shit to become a millionaire. Like, look at Tommy. He wasn't the same Tommy he is today 10 years ago. Like, he had to go through a lot of stuff, a lot of learning to become who he is. And when you do that consistently, and like, I'm talking about religiously, like he's done it every day. The guy's up here every Monday and Thursday, later than half of the people. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Like, it's going to take consistent effort on getting to this goal. And when you become that, honestly, you can give all the money away, because it's basically, in your situation, what you became during that time. Like, if you think about it, you had to go through a lot of stuff. You developed into a really good person. And now, once you get to that point, you're there. So you can literally just give it all away and probably go out and get it again, So the major reason for setting goals is because it has a muscle that helps you develop. Like they say, callous your mind. When you go to the gym, like I see a lot of you guys in here are buff, strong. Like, you didn't go to the gym and start picking up 225. You went to the gym and probably started with 135. You know what I mean? And worked your way up. So you got to callous your mind, and just like you callous your hands, the same stuff happens up there, right? So develop that muscle, all the stuff you learn is what makes it valuable in your life. So just have fun with it. And that's why I love American Income Life, is because here you don't join an easy crowd. Like, you don't join an easy crowd here where the expectations are low. It does not happen here, right? When you're here, what is it? It's high expectations, right? They keep pushing you to get better. You're surrounding yourself with better people that are going to help you grow as a person. So it kind of holds you accountable, right? So that's probably one of my favorite things about American Income too, is it also keeps it real with you. It keeps it really real with you, because it reflects at the end of each week. You get that report. That report comes out. Here's last week's performance. How'd I do? Sometimes you're excited to see that report. Other times you might not even open it up. You might be like, there ain't even no point, right? So what I would say is, like, the business is a great tool to keep you motivated, because it grades you every week. Grades you every week. You get a report every week on your past week's, work, right? And some people, they're starting out and their reports are looking amazing. And that's great. They're off to a great start. Some of us, when we started, we might not have been off to a great start. That's where it becomes tough, and you really have to push through it and stay mentally tough up here. Because remember, in your first 90 days, this is first 90 days, you have to give what? 100 presentations. And every presentation that you give, you're going to become 1% better, right? So when you're 20 presentations in, that's when you have the talks. Is this right for me? This is hard. I don't know if I can do it. You let your demons interfere with your daily life, pull you backwards. But when you make it to 100 presentations, you've been through some shit, right? You start building that confidence up where you heard it all. Like, what do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Learn from that. I want to think about it. That I have a financial advisor, that I can't afford it. How are you going to beat it? A lot of people beat it proactively. That's a good way of beating it. Beat it proactively. Don't wait until it comes time to rebuttal. Don't sit there and go back and forth with them. Beat it up front, so when it comes down to it, they're not even asking you. They're asking, how do I get this? Right? So go where you guys are going to be challenged. Here, you always got to study. You always got to read. You always got to be working on changing yourself, developing, and learning the next step. And the cool part is I've been almost doing this for 8 years. I swear, to this day, I still learn new stuff. I don't even think about doing nothing different. I'm obsessed with it. I love it, right? So, basically for us, like, getting the message is important. You got to get the message on why you're here first off. Never forget why you started. Like, that's where most people, honestly, they fell out, because they forget why they started. They go through a little bit of rough stuff and they're like, shit, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. But what was the reason why you did it in the first place? What was the reason why you did this? There had to be a reason, right? Think about it. Was it for residual income? Was it become an MGA? Was it to see Tommy's lifestyle and say, hey, I want that? Right? Never forget about it, all right? Because you're going to go through some stuff, and I know, like, that's where a lot of people they lose it. They lose it. So just keep going. All right, now, you guys take this out of your vocabulary. If you speak this in right now, take this out. So this stuff blocks you from hitting what you want to hit. So words like but. You ever hear someone talking like, yeah, but? Get that out of your vocabulary. Take but out of your vocabulary. B-U-T. All right. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Take that out of your vocabulary. One day, take that out of your vocabulary. You ever hear that old person say, like, oh, one day I'm going to do this? Take that out. Those are dream killers. Okay. So basically, look for ways to live your dream. Like, look for ways that you can make things happen. Everyone talks about Nike. Like, just do it. Don't be a procrastinator. Don't wait to Friday or Saturday to get that ALP. Go get it today, 2 o'clock. Get that sit today and write that 2,000, right? So you think about, like, your parents, your grandparents. They're like, go to high school, go to college, get a job with a corporation, work 30, 40 years. And then when you retire, you'll get a gold watch, right? Those days are gone, guys. They don't exist anymore, right? You think about it, you're in this job for X amount of years. They're going to replace you once you start getting your income up. Here, you have the opportunity to literally build your business and no one can take it away from you. It's yours. And you get to earn residual income while you're building it, which is even better, right? Because when something crazy like this happens, they still pay Tommy his 20 grand a month. They still paid me what they pay me every month. They didn't take that away. That was pretty sweet, right? That helps people get by in situations like this. Pandemic proof, recession proof. You see the t-shirts. It's pretty cool. So, basically look at ways that you can take charge of your life. Like, what are some ways right now that you can take charge of your life? Mine's waking up early. That's the first thing. I gotta make sure I master waking up early every day. Sometimes I still hit that snooze button. It's hard. It's hard. That bed's comfy. You don't want to get out of it in the morning, especially when it's cold out there, right? Or if it's raining. Oh my God, get you out of bed when it's raining. That's tough, right? But everyone's thinking that way. You gotta literally the night before you go to bed, you gotta plan out your next day so it gets your butt up in the morning. Like I was up early today because I knew I had a workshop to go over with you guys, right? But I had some purpose to my morning. I wasn't just waking up, oh, I'm gonna go to the office, make some calls, run some appointments. No, I was like, all right, I gotta get up, I gotta call my pipeline, I gotta do the workshop. After the workshop, we gotta do an interview. Then I gotta hit the field with 5 appointments. And I gotta eat somewhere in there, right? Oh, yeah, and we gotta work out. Holy cow, I better plan that out. If I just woke up today and was like, oh crap, I gotta do all this, I'm probably only gonna do a couple of those things. But if I wrote it down the night before, planned it out, you're probably gonna do like 90% of it, right? So plan out your days. All right, and it's always gonna be this. If it ain't one thing, it's another. You ever hear that one? If it ain't one thing, it's another. Everyone got shit coming up. You're always gonna have to deal with something, guys. It's literally like someone's gonna have family issues. One person's girlfriend's gonna dump them. The other person has a flat tire. We all have stuff. And guess what? It don't matter. It's little stuff that in a year from now, you ain't even gonna remember it. Yeah, you might remember the flat tire, but you ain't gonna remember the frustration that put on your day. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Just keep going. So deep down, I feel like we all know we want more. Think about it. Like right now, where you're at, you know you want more. You know you could do more, right? Think about it. You do. I do. I wake up like, I smack myself sometimes. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? But that's the cool part about the journey of life is you got to learn and you're going to keep correcting yourself. Nobody's perfect, right? You're going to keep working on getting yourself better. But you can't just be like, oh, I didn't do it. Like, oh, I had a bad day, so I'm not going to go to work tomorrow. Oh, and then tomorrow you didn't go to work. Oh, since I didn't go to work that day and it was a call day, I'm just going to miss the whole week now. You just put yourself down for like 4 days and lost 4 days. Like, you know how you go up the stairs? You just went straight down the elevator. You know what I mean? You got to start all over again. Get that momentum going. So for us, like, what are you passionate about? Did you guys ever think like, do you like helping people? What are you passionate about? Think about it. What are you passionate about? Most people, it's helping people. Most people get excited about helping somebody else. Well, the cool part is when you come here, that's all we do is we help other people, right? You're literally saving people's lives. You're like a superhero. You're walking around like Kent Clark. Like literally you could go into a sit and you're Superman, right? You come out, that family, if they don't get you, they don't get it. So the first thing they got to buy is you. You got to make sure you're carrying yourself well, that you're like over Zoom. That's all you're selling is you. Like you're literally selling you on Zoom. You guys know that the presentation is the presentation. It's always going to be there. Now, how do you make the presentation good? You got to sell yourself. You got to have some energy in your presentation. Carry yourself like a professional. Business. Take control. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I can't see you. Let's turn on your video. You know what I mean? Like take control of everything. But sell yourself, because on Zoom, that's what they're buying. You're literally a TV screen for them. Imagine if you clicked on you on your TV. Would you watch you? Would you? Would you watch you if you clicked on you on the TV screen? Or would you be like, oh, that's an infomercial, I'm hitting next? Maybe on a Sunday morning when there ain't else shit to do, you might watch you. But you should want to watch you at prime time, 7 o'clock at night when you get home from work, kick your feet up, right? They should be putting you on TV, not NCIS, right? So or Chicago Fire, since we're out here, right? So think about that though. Like you're literally on a TV screen and they're watching you. If you're sitting there just going through the script, going through the motions, you're going to be average. You're going to sell 1 out of 3. It's just naturally going to happen. You're going to trip and fall over to 1. The other one's going to tell you go kick rocks, and the one that was on the fence, you wouldn't be able to pull him over. But if you can put some passion, some energy, some excitement into your voice, have voice inflections go up, go down, get serious, make them laugh, make them cry, make them buy, right? If you can do that, they're going to keep watching you. They're going to do what you tell them to do. You have to sell yourself. Look good on the screen. Make sure you have a good background. It's important. Make sure your audio is good. I hope you guys can hear me. So when you do what you really want to do and you get really good at it, people will see it on you. That's the cool part. It's like people will see it on you when you do really good at what you do. You stand out. You do. For sure. Now turn it into an expertise. Like now that you're just good at it, be great at it. And then see what happens. Like if I asked all you guys right here what your so basically was, would everyone be able to rip word for word? Right? If I asked you what I can't afford it, would you be able to rip word for word to me? No, I guarantee you can't right now. Some of you can. But that just means you have to put time in your schedule to practice it and learn it. Like have an accountability buddy. For real. Like the good part is we have all these people here starting out. There's all this young blood running around, full of piss and vinegar, they say, right? Bounce off each other a little bit. You never heard that one? So schedule down what you need to be accomplished, and that will help you drive towards achieving your goals. So that's before we get into stuff, I want to make sure you guys know, like, you ain't just going to wake up and go through the motions and expect things to happen. Like, you got to have it all planned out, okay? So have a business owner mindset, and it's easy. Remember this, it's easy to play good when things are good. When you're writing 3-4K a week, it's easy to go to work. When you're writing 1,000 a week, though, might be hard. Might be hard to get up and get going. So you got to get some momentum going. And when things aren't going good, you have to stay strong and mentally tough. And that's why we got each other. That's the cool part, is we got each other, right? We can hold each other accountable. Someone didn't show up on my team last week. Everyone was trying to get a hold of them, keep them accountable. Not even for them, for the team. It wasn't even about that person. It was about, like, dude, the team's missing it. It's all about the team. It's not about you when you're a part of a team, right? Like if we all went to war, I was telling my guys, if we all were in war, like, and Jay Vaughn got his leg blown off, we're not going to leave Jay Vaughn on the ground running, hopping back to the helicopter. We're going to all grab his ass, pick him up, and carry him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's our boy. You know, we fight for each other. Think about it. Like, you want to do that. You want to be like, oh, man, he's down, he's out. No, we'd be like, holy shit, dude. Like, come on, man. We grab him, pick him up, carry him. Because we all move forward together. As we go, the agency is going to go, right? And the cool part is you guys are so young in this business and so talented. Like in a year from now, we're going to be literally like one of the top agencies that exist, which is great. It's so exciting. It's super exciting to have all you guys here. So, basically for us, don't chase your feelings, chase your vision. All right. And you got to give up to go up. You got to give up to go up. They always been saying that from day one. You got to give it up to go up. If you got some vices, you got to give them up. You got to give them up for a while. Might be better to give them up forever. But you got to give it up to go up. And they say, who was it? It was Biggie. more money, more problems, right? So when you start making more money, just expect more problems going to be coming your way too. You know, it's not like, oh, when I start making 100 grand, I'm going to be good. No, when you start making 100 grand, you're just going to have more bills and you have more problems. And 100 grand ain't shit. You're going to have to be making 1 million. You know what I mean? So just understand that as you get on in your life, you know, the higher you go, your bills just go up, and you got to just learn how to be better at managing everything too. So we'll talk about a little bit, and I think is the most important thing here is activity. All you guys on this call, all you guys in this room are superstars, like studs. If I sat down with you guys, I'd be excited. Like, you know your shit. I know you guys know your shit because you're all released, right? And you don't get released unless you at least know it. So activity, what are ways to create activity? Well, we got right now, if we're working virtual, there's really like a couple ways. It's phone calls. Phone calls is the number one way to create activity, phone calls, right? So creating activity, phone calls. How else? Referrals. Referrals is another way to create activity, but rolling the referrals is really important, okay? So when you create activity, you also want to create traffic. So when you're calling people, let's just say you sit down, you have an appointment at 12 o'clock today when we get off, and let's just say that person wasn't there. What would you do till your next appointment? Well, first off, if they're not there, you should call them. And what I found that creates traffic is leaving them a message saying, hey, Joe, this is Josh giving you a call with American Income. We handle your benefits through the Teamsters. Hey, it looks like you weren't able to get on the Zoom call. I don't know if that was on your end or on our end, but it looks like we're not going to be able to take care of you at this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in my schedule for tonight, and you find out whenever you have a gap between 8 and 9 p.m. If that time does not work for you, please give me a call back so we can find a time that works better for you. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you tonight between 8 and 9. Have a great rest of your night. Listen, the guy's going to get the voicemail. It sounds like a pretty decent voicemail, right? He's either going to show up for the 8 to 9 appointment, or he's going to most likely call you and tell you it don't work. And when he calls you, that's creating traffic, incoming traffic, right? We're not just pushing outgoing no more, right? No, it's now we got some incoming traffic coming in. So if he's not there, we schedule him for the same day, later gap in your schedule. Shit, if you're all booked up, tell him I got you set aside from 9 to 11. If that don't work, give me a call. You think he's gonna want you calling him at 9 to 11 o'clock at night? No, he might give you a call, all right? Now, if he don't call you, well, hey, at least you tried. Do that with 3 people, though. One of them's calling you back and you're getting them on your schedule. Just play the numbers, right? So create traffic. If you get no-showed, what are you doing? Well, I have a guy on my team, Blake and Omar. You guys know Blake and Omar. Well, basically, they had 27 appointments set last week. 27. I was like, you guys did a phenomenal job on the phones. How did you guys get so many appointments set? You want to know what they said? I just made phone calls other than on call night. He said, anytime I had a gap, I just made some phone calls. He kept it so simple for the team. I just made some calls. You got to call whenever you're not in sits. Hello? You can't just like wait, sit to sit. Oh, you get no show. What are you going to do? I'm just going to wait till my next one. Oh, I'm going to go grab lunch. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go home and do my laundry, and I'm going to come back for my 3 o'clock. No, get your ass on the phones, make some phone calls, and get a couple more set for the day. The cool part is you might even be able to get somebody you can take care of right then and there and fill that open gap, right? So best times to call, we got Mondays from 4 to 9, Tuesdays from 8 to 10 a.m., Wednesdays from 11 to 1, Thursdays from 4 to 9, Fridays from 8 to 10, Saturdays all morning. If you're not in a sit during prime time, make phone calls. Prime time, what's prime time? 4 to 9. If you're not in a sit from 4 to 9, you should be making phone calls to get a sit. And there's no reason that if you don't have a 9 o'clock appointment, 8 to 9 o'clock appointment today, you can't get one set by the end of today. What time is it right now? It's 10:30. You're going to tell me over the next 10 hours you can't get an appointment set for 9 o'clock? If you're calling everybody and every phone call you say, Hey, Joe, I have a really booked up schedule, but actually I can squeeze you in for my last appointment tonight between 8 and 9, or I can get you in tomorrow between 7 and 8. Which works better for you and your spouse? If he picked tomorrow, the next phone call I make, I'm gonna say, Joe, I got a really booked up schedule, but I could actually squeeze you in tonight between 8 and 9, or tomorrow between 8 and 9. Which works better for you and your spouse? If he still picks tomorrow, the next one I'm gonna call him and say, Joe, I run a really booked up schedule, but I can actually squeeze you in tonight between 8 and 9. I'm literally giving him the 8 to 9 option to every single person I call during the day. So every single person that I call today, if I have an 8 to 9 open in my schedule, I'm filling it. That's the first option I'm giving them. I have 8 to 9 tonight, or I have tomorrow between 5 and 6. And you know what? If they keep picking tomorrow, well, shit, tomorrow's going to be booming, right? So just keep pushing for the prime time sits. Like, you guys realize people like from 4 to 9, that's the time. That's the time you want to be working. I would literally have to drive to the office, sit in the office from 8 to noon, do interviews, appointments, set a schedule, run a workshop, and then from 12 to 1, drive out to the field, run appointments from 2 to 9. Well, guess what? There's really not a lot of time to eat sometimes. Sometimes you want to get out to the field until 3 or 4 o'clock because you'll be running behind. You'll be having so much stuff to handle at the office. Well, guess what? From 4 to 9, I'm still getting 3 sits and making a sale all day. You guys can literally, your job is to set appointments and see clients. It's so easy. You know that, right? Like, that's your only job. Why aren't we writing 4K a week, all of us? It's only 1,000 a day. Like, for real, your job is literally all day to get 3 sits. Wait till you become a manager. You're gonna have a lot more on your plate. So master this first. And what I would recommend is making sure your prime times are booked up at 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Because when you're in management, you're going to have shit to handle in the morning. You're not going to be able to run appointments in the morning, right? So you're going to have to work smart. And as a manager, the best time to be in a sits from 4 to 9, because that's when you're going to show your guy all the activity and see all the sales. You'll see most managers, most people are usually in sits from 4 to 9. Just run prime times. Get 3 sits in. It works. And the cool part is you don't got to go nowhere. We used to have to drive a half an hour in between appointments. Now you click a button. So here's another tip. Write this one down. You guys ready? We used to have something called 2 for 2ing. Anyone want to know what a 2 and 2 is, or a 2 for 2? Anyone know what it is? Not a 2-2, a 2 for 2, right? So what a 2 for 2 is when we were out in the field, before each appointment, you would want to call 2 people in your lead pack and make 2 door knocks. So before I'd be heading out to my 4 p.m., right? Before I go out to my 4 p.m., I put my impact nearest lead to me. I hit that door knock. Second one, I hit it. And then as I'm driving to my appointment, I try to make 2 phone calls real quick. That's called 2 for 2ing, right? Well, check this out. A lot of us are working virtually. So instead of making 2 door knocks and 2 phone calls, why don't we just make 4 phone calls before each appointment? Wow. Imagine if you did that. Imagine if you did that. Imagine before every appointment you have today, if you made 4 phone calls. I guarantee you're going to set 1 or 2 people throughout the day. You're going to be calling at random times, right? You don't got to call the same. I mean, you could call the same people that you haven't been able to reach in prime time during the day. They might answer, might be on a different shift, but try it. Try this. 2 for 2ing. Just call it 4 for 4ing, right? We'll say that, like Wendy's got the 4 for 4. Now, try to make 4 phone calls before each appointment. See what happens. Just try it, okay? And then, you know, basically for you guys, like the other way of creating activity is referrals. So with referrals, like we know how many different types of referrals you can collect, right? I don't have to sit here and go over what's the 5 different types of referrals that you guys can name. Right, we have catch-up program, we have AD&D, we have contingent beneficiary, we have child safe, discount card, will kits. You can give out will kits, insurance referrals. I mean, VIBs. There's so much that you guys can go after with referrals. You have probably 7, 8 avenues in each presentation that you can go after a referral. What if you just got 1 out of each avenue? You'd collect at least 5 referrals a house. What if you just got 1 referral out of each avenue? What if it was just your job to get 1 referral out of each avenue? Right? Now take it to the next step. Ready? So now that it's your job to do this, make it part of your process. Make it part of your presentation. So Joe, hey, look, you know, I know you're enrolling into the 30,000 a whole life. One of my duties, you know, what I'm going to tell them at my solidification, one of my duties is to make sure that if something were to happen to you, that your beneficiary understands how to make a claim on all this money. So before we can issue out your policy, I just have a responsibility to make sure that your beneficiary understands how to go through the claim process. So why don't you do me a favor real quick? Let's call your daughter. Let's just get her on my schedule right now. I can get her off and get your policy issued out for you, okay? What if you just made it part of your process and you had to do it before the policy got issued? You guys would be sitting down with so many more beneficiaries a week. It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. Just include it into what you have to do. It's your job to do this, right? I'm telling you guys, this stuff right here, like if you just make it part of your job, it ain't nothing. It's just what you do. You're just a happy guy going around and enrolling people all day. It's going from sit to sit. If you got on every sit, like imagine, you know, Steven, if you just sat down with 8 people today and all 8 of them enrolled, you'd be walking around with some type of confidence, like everyone I sit down with enrolls. Why don't we go into every sit like that? Think about that. Why don't you just go into every sit acting like what you do all day is you just open up your laptop, you go through this presentation, you enroll them into their benefits, and then you get to the next family. You do that for every single person you sit down with. It'll work. It'll work majority of the time. Okay. So part of your process, a couple things to make a part of your process is Google reviews, right? So you know, I was telling the team like, hey, look, if you don't get a review to sit didn't count, sit didn't happen, right? Imagine that. You'd be getting Google reviews if it was like, if you got paid on every Google review you get a lot of Google reviews. You'd be like, hey, listen, before I get out of here today, you know, just to make sure I get my credit, we have to get a Google review. You guys okay with that? You know what I mean? Like, hey, I sent you the link. It's already in your text here. Pull up your phone, right? And then just right after you read the mandatory read-off letter, get that text sent over to them with the link in there where they can click on it and give you a review after every presentation. What if you just made it part of your process? You guys would get more. What's up?
What do you say when you like, are you say, yeah, I have to do Google review? Like, do you make it kind of sound like it's a mandatory thing?
So with the mandatory read-off letter, right? You read the letter. So basically, Joe and Mary, here's the way that it works. Is if I'm going through your benefits, you're nodding your head thinking these are really great benefits. I can see what I had it set up and all the members were excited about it. They're gonna ask you to try and enroll today while I'm out here. On the flip side, if I go through your benefits, you're like, oh, these are really great benefits, but they just don't feel a need for me or my family. Then we actually would ask you not to try to enroll today. Either way, yes or no, just in fairness to all the other members, they asked us to do this on an enrollment basis. The great part about the benefits, though, is they're pretty much a no-brainer. So you're going to know at the end whether or not it does feel a need for you or your family. The only thing they asked me to ask you, because they didn't want me to get all the way through this thing and you say something silly like I want to think about it, is that if we're going through this at any time, if you have any questions at all, will you stop me and ask me? Yeah? You too, Mary? Yeah? Get the verbal yeses, right? Okay, either way, your group still does value your opinion. Now, we used to do officer report forms, but because now we're working virtual, they have us doing it through Google. So we will ask you to give us a Google review just so that we can share this feedback with your union. So if you actually look at your guys' phones, I just clicked the button. It should be arriving here in a second for the link. Please make sure you do that before we get off today, and I'll remind you once again. Make sense, guys? Okay, great. Include it into your script.
We're a brand new agency. We want to make sure everyone in the area knows how what we do for you. If you think that I did a good job, you just go ahead and leave a Google review. People will do it. They'll immediately pick up their phone.
Yeah, just ask them. But if you include it in your process, it happens. It's going to happen more often than not.
When you send them like the Google review, like is it like just the
The Vena agency,
just like Google?
like on Google, yeah. Because then they have to click on it. They have to be on their Google account, which usually if they use their phone, they will be. And then you can walk them through it, like click review and leave review. Like make sure you guys know how to do it. You know, make sure you know how to leave a Google review before you try walking someone through it, right? Go on there and leave a Google review. You should leave one for the agency. Don't do it from the office though. Do it from your home, okay, or out and about, because it pings it here. Now, leave a review. It's only going to help you. Hi, I'm Andres. I've been working with the company for 90 days now. You know, I've learned so much. It helped me grow. I'm excited to keep pushing me to reach my potential. I don't know. Say something positive about it, right? So Google review is part of the process. Make rolling referrals a part of your process. Just roll them. Hey, look, you know, it's just my job, my duty to make sure that your beneficiary understands how to make a claim if anything ever were to happen. So one thing they have me doing before your policy gets issued out is they have me sitting down with your beneficiary to understand and to walk them through the claim process. Just make it part of the process. It makes you look more professional too. You guys know when you do that, like they're like, dang, this guy really dotting his I's and crossing his T's. You know what I'm saying? You're going to look more professional. You're going to have better retention. If you sit down and sell the client, roll the contingent, sell the contingent, that's staying on forever. It's not going away. Now, how do we get better retention? Because we got about 10 minutes left. So one thing we have to do, and I don't know if everyone's doing, I hope everyone's doing this, but one thing we have to do is after you make the sale, you guys know there's forms that are in the folders, right? Well, typically when we're in the house, we would read the forms to the client. Make sure you have a folder for each client you sit down with before you sit down with them, and then go through the same process. All right, Joe, when you click that next button and it pops up where you can trial it or put it through standard, that's where you read your what comes next form. Read it off to them. Let them know what comes next. It's very important to read that form. Read it word for word. Don't skip a word on it. Just read it. And I promise you guys, it's going to help with your retention. So read the what comes next form. Then you hit the next button on your computer. It goes to the virtual summary sheet, right? You have a summary sheet in your folder. Joe, you're going to get this summary sheet, right? I'm going to fill out everything you see on the screen over to this piece of paper. It's going to show you exactly what you have until your policy comes in the mail. After that, what's it go over? It shows you an example of your policy. After that, it pops up with your final remarks. Make sure you say your solidification in every sit. When you make a sale, do not skip that. They got to understand that this is not a short-term fix. It is a long-term solution, right? So will you promise me if anything ever came up that you'll call me first? Okay, great. You could even tell them, I promise to be there for your family at the worst time of their life. Just make sure you promise to be back, you know, for them, and make sure that you never miss a payment, right? So go over your solidification, go over your rated risk. There's three things that could happen. The first is standard. The second is you could be rated. In that sense, you could either keep your premium the same and lower your coverage, or keep your coverage the same and higher your premium. Whatever is more comfortable for you, we'll go over it, you know, whenever you get approved. If it is less than $10, they'll automatically just put it through to make sure you have the coverage, right? Now, the third thing that can happen is you become declined. Now, typically would only is if, like, you know, you had something wrong with your health we didn't know about, or you lied on the application. Looks like it, you know, everything checks out good today though, okay? The three things, you got to go over rated risk, solidification, and all those forms. I'm telling you, and then take the picture with them. After you take the picture with them, you then, you know, basically send their application off, okay? Goes to home office, you check your sales notes, make sure they're all good. You write the paperwork and the thank you card up, and you get it sent out in every sit. And if you really want to increase your retention, be like Christina. I see she prints out every Freedom of Choice certificate that she sells, and they're always on the printer, and they're on there every day because she makes sales every day. And it's going to help her with her retention because now they can see her, they can put it up on the fridge. It's a cool thing to do. You should be printing out every Freedom of Choice certificate and putting it in your thank you card, okay? So, you know, with you guys, like, we got about 10 minutes. I'm down for questions, anything you guys want to go over. Before that, I got one little quick passage, and it's from the Winner's Manual. This is for the Game of Life by Jim Tressel. And it just talks about dreaming big, since that's pretty much what we went over a little bit today, you know, vision and, you know, having a game plan. But it says, if there ever was a time to dare to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, It is now. Not for any grand cause necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart, something that's your aspiration, something that's your dream. You owe it to yourself to make the days count here. Have fun, dig deep, stretch, dream big. Know, though, that things worth doing seldom come easy. There will be good days and there will be bad days. And there will be times that you want to turn around, pack it up, and call it quits. Those times tell you that you are pushing yourself. Those times tell you that you're not afraid to learn by trying. Persist. Because with an idea, determination, and the right tools, you can do great things. Learn your instincts, your intellect, and give your heart guide to you. Trust. Believe in incredible power of the human mind, of doing something that makes a difference, of working hard, of laughing and hoping, of lazy afternoons, of lasting friends, of all the things that cross your path this year. Start of something new brings the hope of something great. Anything is possible. There is only one you, and you will pass this only once. Do it right. That's pretty good, right? Some pretty good passages from the Winner's Manual. This is a great book. Got to read some books. It's only going to help you guys. But we got 10 minutes. Has anyone got any questions? Anything that they want to go over? Anything that I didn't touch? I'm open. Let's get it. Steven, you're first.
How do you go about, like, when you're filling out that super combo and like last couple things you need, like the social and the bank info? How do you, like, what's like the best way to explain them why we need routing the account number?
Great question. Great question. So Steven said, what's the best way? Like, you're getting to their social, bank account, driver's license, all that good stuff, right? Well, basically what I do is after they pick their option, I ask them why, and I say, okay, everyone loves the benefits. Unfortunately, not everyone can qualify for the benefits. We just make sure you can qualify. I start rattling off the medical questions on page 2, right? After I rattle off the medical questions on page 2, I put the doctor's info in there, and then I go back to page 1. And the most important thing right here, give the money away. Give it away. All right, if something were to happen to you, Steven, who's going to be first in line to take care of this benefit? Okay, great. Who's going to be second in line? All right, awesome. Now, it looks like we're going to send your address to 123 Happy Street. That's going to be where you want your policy sent, right? Okay, great. All right, what's your 2 phone numbers? Put them in there. All right, where do you work? How tall are you? All right, how much you weigh? Were you born in Illinois? Okay, great. Boom, put all that in there. All right, now the last couple of things that we need, I'm going to need you to grab your driver's license and your social. So do you know your driver's license number? Oh, you got to grab it? Okay, go ahead. Go grab it. They'll grab it. They'll give you it. All right, now what's your, after I put the driver's license there, I'm like, what's your social? They'll give me their social. I'll be like, okay, now great. Now it looks like we're going to apply you for the $100,000 whole life with the waiver premium, $200,000 accidental. It's only going to come out to $138 a month. That's comfortable for you, right? All right, awesome. So basically, we used to do this in person. They used to have us come out to your home. And as you see here on the bottom of page 1, it says, please attach a voided check. I scroll all the way to the bottom of page 1. It says, please attach a check right on the bottom of your page 1 of your super combo. I'll say, unfortunately, we can't do that because we're virtual. So what they did was they just put a spot in here where we could enter in your voided check. So who do you use for your bank account? Oh, you use Chase? Okay, and I can find the routing number, but can you grab the account? Awesome. So you type the routing in there. Make sure you verify it with them because sometimes they're in different states and have different routings. But boom, verify that. Put the account number in here. Okay, great. The awesome part about it is that they actually have your premium handled for you every month on the day that you choose. So what day every month will be a good date for your premium to come out? For your account to be handled? What day will be a good day every month for your account to be handled? Oh, on the 20th? Okay, perfect. So your first one's going to come out next Wednesday or Thursday, and then every month on the 20th, it's going to come out for your family, okay? Perfect. Done. Once they pick the option and you give the money away, it's done. It's sold. Like, don't even stress about the rest of it. Like, if you're stressing about the rest of it, you did something wrong. For real. If you're like, oh shit, here comes the bank info. How am I going to ask for the bank info? You're gonna be like, you probably didn't sell it right. You better go back and re-solidify on why they're getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're nervous about getting the account info, I'm nervous about your retention.
What if, like, they just have like a prepaid debit card, or they're just asking like why they can use something like that, and why we have to have it?
Yeah, I mean, all insurance companies need an active bank account. I just tell them it's just what insurance companies do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just found it's like social
I-
media comes up.
I typically don't get too much of that, but if they're like, oh, I only got a prepaid card, well, shucks. You need to go get a bank account. You ever hear of Huntington? You can open an account up right online. You can do it for your people right there too, for them. Show them how, walk them through it, right? But you gotta make sure they put the money in there too. Because I've had people open it up and forget to put the money in, huh? Yeah. So make sure they put the money in their account before you draft it. But if they do have prepaid, yeah, we just need an active bank account.
I don't know, I found it sometimes where it's like, I know you don't wanna ask for the bank account, like, for the first thing, obviously. Except that sometimes I'm like getting towards the end and I was like, put a lot of their information in and they're like, wait, I don't have a checking account. Or they're like, wait, I don't want things touching my bank account because people are like sketched out about their bank. So like,
Yeah, if they're like, I don't have a checking account, well, that's your fault. You should have found that out in the FIG or the health service discount card.
that's what I was gonna say, like, I guess sometimes like when I'm like not asking people the right way when I ask
Yeah.
that question.
So on the FIG, right here it says financial institution. Ready for this? Who do you bank with? It's that easy. Literally, you go to financial institution on the FIG and say, for this spot, who do you bank with? Oh, you use Chase. Perfect. Just put that account information in there. This way, when something happens to your family, you can go in and close those accounts out. Easy. Keep it moving. Don't overcomplicate it. Find out early if they have a bank account too. Don't wait until the end. That's the worst. You make the sale, you get all the way through it, they don't have a bank. Damn, you just wasted an extra hour you didn't need to waste. What's up, Dalton?
What do you do if you're in that instance where they like don't have a bank, like you find out proactively like that, or?
Yeah, so I had a lady just recently, she didn't have a bank account. It stinks. The company needs to pull something electronic for the first payment. So you need to get her a bank account. If not, you have to go through a whole long process that I don't feel like getting into because you have to send the application. It has to actually like close out, like withdraw or incomplete or whatever it may be, and then you have to reopen it with a money order, and then they can pay by money order. But then you don't get advanced on it. You don't get advanced on it until they end up paying all the months anyway. So if they don't have a bank account, you don't get no money. You don't get no advance. Just so you guys know.
Until they.
And like if they pay direct billing, like send it in, you don't get advanced on it. You get advanced, but then you get charged back a week later. And then you get the release money after they pay out X amount of months.
You get charged back?
They advance you on it and then they charge you back on it. So they give it to you, but then they take it back because now it's direct billing. You're in debt with the company. So until that debt clears out, they hold that money.
I see.
Make sense? But it's still good. You're doing the client a service. Like shit, if they didn't have a bank account, I did them a service. I'm still feeling good about myself at the end of the day. It's renewals. You know what I mean? Like still be there, serve your clients. Like try to get them the best way possible that you can. Any other questions? Anybody on the screen got any questions?
Actually, I have a more like question about the Huntington Bank because I signed someone up with one, but I don't know like how do they actually put the money in? Because isn't it like online banking?
Yeah, so they can transfer it from their prepaid cards over to their account some way.
Okay, because that's what I told her, and like we
Yeah.
were going through the website together, but like I didn't want her to think I've never done it before, so I kind of like looked at it, and that's what I told her. But then I was like, shit, I hope she can actually do that. So
Huntington also has physical locations all over Chicago.
Yeah,
There's a Huntington
yeah.
Bank. Like,
Oh.
Okay. Hey, that's good to know. There's a lot of Huntingtons out here, and you could open an account up right online.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll open it up online, and it will say, "Oh, you have to go to the bank to complete the process." You can say, "Hey, look, I know you're down in there. Let me Google it real quick. Huntington Bank near, North Kimball." You know what I mean? And then boom, it will pop up. So you can even give them directions to the bank. But sometimes you'll open it up. They'll have to go down there. Make sure that you look at the website before you try to walk someone through it. A lot of times, I remember the first time I tried it, I did it the same way. I didn't even look. I just went on because I was in the house. I was like, the lady didn't have an account. She's like, I'll get an account. And you want to help me get one? And I was like, sure. I went on and figured it out. But go on and do a little bit of homework practice so that you can get good at it. You shouldn't be running into too many of these situations though. These are more inner city situations, to be honest. So
What were you saying were some of the terms were like, instead of like taking money out, like saying like, oh.
Handled.
Handling,
Handling your account.
handling your account.
Setting aside.
You never want to say taking out or deducting. They'll be deducting this from your account. No, they're going to be handling this from your account. With
What would be some other ways to like to ease them into, because like some people do feel uncomfortable handing over their information through Zoom, like their bank account information. What are some ways that you kind of ease them into it? Like,
I let them know I'm a business professional, that I do this for everybody. Like, this is just part of the product. This is why the unions work with us. Think about that. You think the union would allow me to work with this member if I was taking their bank account information, not doing good things with it? You know what I mean? Like the union, like I throw it back to the union too. Like, hey, look, that's one of the reasons why the union even works with us is because they trust us as a company. You know what I mean? Like, look at all the different insurance companies out there. There's one that works with unions. You know who it is? It's us. Why do you think they chose us?
And on top of that, we could lose our license if we got caught taking people's information.
Use your license. You can say, I actually have a state license to do this for you. I mean, I personally usually always put it in because I don't want to mess it up. But if you have them type it in, just make sure it gets verified the right way. That's all. I typically do it though because I want to make sure it's right, you know, and leave it up to me if it's to be, right?
Share your screen with people while you're filling stuff out.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Yeah, always share your screen. You got to show your screen while you're filling out. Don't be not sharing your screen when you're filling out the app.
When you're in person, do you want them to see the screen?
When I'm in person, typically no, because I'm like usually, I mean, I'm sitting at an angle where they can see my screen because I set myself up the right way in my presentation. Like, you know, when you go into a sit in live, I mean, you don't want to be sitting close to the husband. You want to be sitting closer to the wife. And you need to be set up where if you're right-handed and you're drawing like this, well, that's not good. So you should probably be set up where you're like, you know what I mean? So set your angles up where they can see you. You can move your fingers around and not block the screen. I've had people in training before in home, they would go like this. They'd write something down, turn it around. Write something down, turn it around. Write something down, turn it around. I'm like, oh, that's painful. That's so painful to watch. You guys got to get good at, if you're doing in-homes, get good at writing upside down. You know what I'm saying? Just practice it. So,
During the terminal, if you didn't set yourself up right, like in the beginning when you're sitting next to them.
Yeah.
During the terminal, you can use that as an excuse to get closer to them. Like, all right, guys, I just want to make sure you can see this. So I'm just coming over here. You know,
yeah, just make sure you have control.
sometimes it's like awkward in the beginning.
So without control, you lose, right? Because close without the C is lose, right? So you got to make sure that you have control before you go into the house. Even like control all starts on the phone call, to be honest. Sometimes straight up, I can feel it when it's a sale and I got them on the phone. You ever call that person like, oh, this is a sale. This is a sale. Why? Because you had that energy, you had that good vibe going, you knew it. And then you walked right into it. And because you were thinking it was a sale proactively, it was a sale, right? So that's another thing is as you're getting ready for your sits, walk yourself through your sits. Talk yourself up. This person's going to love me. They're going to refer me to all their friends and family. They're going to buy everything I have to offer them, right? Like, and then say a little prayer like, God, please help me protect this family because without me, they're never going to be protected. And I want to make sure I'm leaving a good impact on the world when I leave, right? Like say something crazy to just get your spirit up and then go into that house with a lot of energy and passion and be exciting because you guys are projecting you to them over the screen, right? And if you're doing it in a boring, slumped up way, you're not smiling. You got to smile too when you're on the screen. They don't want to be looking at no sour face, right? So smile while you're on the screen. Have fun with the people. Make them laugh, make them cry, make them buy. But listen, guys, it's been an hour. I don't want to take up your day. Let's get some lunch. Let's have some fun. Thank you guys for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And let's have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Josh.